words of Sri Aurobindo from the book Path of Prayer, collections from the works of Mother and Sri Aurobindo, page 25, topic Sincere and Intense Prayer Can Change the Path of Destiny. Our Divine Mother says, who says that a sufficiently sincere aspiration, a sufficiently intense prayer is not capable of changing the path of the unfolding? This means that all is possible. Now you must have a sufficient aspiration and a prayer that's sufficiently intense, but that has been given to human nature. It is one of the marvelous gifts of grace given to human nature, only one does not know how to make use of it. This comes to saying that in spite of the most absolute determinisms in the horizontal line, if one knows how to cross all these horizontal lines and reach the highest point of consciousness, one is able to make things change, things apparently absolutely determined. So you may call it by any name you like, but it is a kind of combination of an absolute determinism with an absolute freedom. You may pull yourself out of it in any way you may like, but it is like that. These words are from the Collective Works of the Mother, Volume 5, page 88. Question: but how can I get this psychic consciousness, sweet Mother? For this Mother says, by aspiration, prayer, and concentration. Let me repeat, by aspiration, prayer, and concentration. Collective Works of the Mother, Volume 17, page 102. Next topic, I am with you. Our Divine Mother says, I am with you because I am you, or you are me. Our Divine Mother says, I am with you because I am you, or you are me. I am with you, that signifies a world of things, because I am with you on all levels, on all planes, from the Supreme Consciousness down to my most physical consciousness. Here in Pondicherry, you cannot breathe without breathing my consciousness. It saturates the atmosphere almost materially in the subtle physical and extends to the lake 10 kilometers from here. Further, my consciousness can be felt in the material vital, then on the mental plane and the other higher planes everywhere. When I came here for the first time, I felt the atmosphere of Sri Aurobindo, felt it materially at a distance of 10 miles, 10 nautical miles, not kilometers. It was very sudden, very concrete, an atmosphere pure, luminous light, light that lifts you up. It is now long since Sri Aurobindo has put up everywhere in the ashram this reminder that you all know. Always behave as if the Mother was looking at you. Always behave as if the Divine Mother was looking at you, because she is indeed always present. This is not a mere phrase, not simply words, it is a fact. I am with you in a very concrete manner, and they who have a subtle vision can see me. In a general way, my force is there, constantly at work, constantly shifting the psychological elements of your being to put them in new relations and defining to yourself the different facets of your nature, so that you may see what should be changed, developed, rejected. But that part, there is a special personal tie between you and me. There is a special personal tie between you and me, between all who have turned to the teaching of Sri Aurobindo and myself. And it is well understood, distance does not count here. You may be in France, you may be at the other end of the world, or in Pondicherry. This tie is always true and living, and each time Each time there comes a call, each time there is a need for me to know so that I may send out a force, an inspiration, a protection, or any other thing, a sort of message comes to me all of a sudden, and I do all the needful. These communications reach me evidently at any moment, and you must have seen me more than once stop suddenly in the middle of a sentence or work. It is because something comes to me, a communication, and I concentrate. There is more than a tie, says our Divine Mother. There is more than a tie. There is an emanation of me. This emanation wants me whenever it is necessary and tells me what is happening. And if for some reason you write to me asking for my help and I answer, I am with you, it means that the communication with you becomes active. You come into my active consciousness for the time necessary. These are the words, Collective Works of the Mother, Volume 13, page 73 and 74. Our Divine Mother says, some dislike prayer. If they enter deep into their heart, they would find it was pride, worse than that vanity. And then there are those who have no aspiration. They try and they cannot aspire it. It is because they don't have the flame of the will. It is because they do not have the flame of humility. Both are needed. There must be a great humility and a great will to change one's karma. Collective Works of the Mother, Volume 5, page 92. Next topic, prayer and spiritual life. Our Divine Mother says, prayer and aspiration are a part of the spiritual life. Prayer and aspiration are a part of the spiritual life and do not conflict with surrender, provided one is not disturbed in either way by the fulfillment or unfulfillment of the prayer and keeps one's faith and all quietude all the same. In the ordinary life, prayer is one of the chief elements of human relations with the divine and is often but always answered. When it is not answered, the religious man keeps his faith in the divine and either understands that the answer was not the divine will, or else he prays more fervently till his prayer is heard. That depends on the man and the circumstances. A sadhak can intercede internally for others in their affairs, provided he remains unattached and equal minded, but he is not bound to intervene. Collective Works of Sri Aurobindo, volume 29, page 365, 366. Next topic, prayers and hymns as a means of God realization. Our Lord Sri Aurobindo says, one important way for realizing the divine is through prayers and hymns. But this is not suitable for everybody. One who follows the path of knowledge takes to meditation and concentration. But for a worker, dedication of work is the best way. Prayers and hymns form a limb of devotion, even then it is not the highest limb. For the unqualified love is the highest perfection of the devotion. That love can realize God's true self through hymns and prayers, and then transcending their necessity merges itself in the God's self-enjoyment. And yet there's hardly a man of devotion who can do without hymns and prayers. When there is no need of process and practice, that is sadhana, even then the heart wells out in hymns and prayers. Only one has to remember that the way is not the objective, and my way may not be another's. Many men of devotion have this notion that one who does not take hymns, who does not take delight in them, is not a spiritual man. This is a sign of error and narrowness. Buddha did not indulge in hymns and prayers, but who would declare that Buddha is unspiritual? Hymns and prayers are developed for the practice of devotion, and prayer helps to prepare a relation with the divine from the lower plane, even while there is consistent with much more of egoism and self-delusion, but afterwards we can draw towards the spiritual truth which is behind it. It is not then the giving of the thing asked for the matter, but the relation in itself, the contact of man's life with God, the conscious interchange. in spiritual matters and in the seeking of spiritual gains. This conscious relationship is a great power, and this is a greater power than their own entity of self reliance, struggle, effort. It brings a fuller spiritual growth and experience. Necessary is the end prayer either ceases in the greater thing for which it prepared us. In fact, the form we call prayer is not an essential, itself essential, so long as there is faith, will, aspiration, and there only remains the joy of relation. Also, its objects, the interest is to seek to realize higher and higher truths, higher and higher motiveless devotion, which gives that of the divine love, pure and simple without any demand or longing. This is under the topic a means of forming relation with the God. Words of Sri Aurobindo from the collective works of Sri Aurobindo, volume 24, page 567-68. So, prayer is something which is full of confidence without any sorrow or lamenting.